Alright guys, we are back, and today we're talking about a franchise we probably thought we would never be able to talk about on this show.
We're gonna go see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yes, and just to make it clear, Gryffindor, I'm pointing to Mason, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff. Proud Hufflepuff.
Loser.
Shut up. The Rock is a Hufflepuff.
The Rock is just messing with you. He's clearly a Gryffindor.
Anyway, David Yates is directing this movie. He directed the last 4 Harry Potter movies. All of them were good, except for maybe Half-Blood Prince, but we don't really watch Half-Blood Prince that much, so maybe? I don't know. And this is J.K. Rowling's first ever screenplay. It's coming in the mail for us on Tuesday.
Yeah, we're gonna get our published copy of the screenplay on Tuesday. So, we're gonna be reading it.
And this movie has been, and we've been building this movie up quite a bit because it's starring Eddie Redmayne, who is an incredible actor, even when he's hamming it up like in Jupiter Ascending.
Colin Farrell. We got Colin Farrell.
John Voight, weirdly enough.
Dan Fogler, who hasn't done a lot, but he's done.
He really hasn't been in a movie we've seen, actually.
He was in Good Luck Chuck. We didn't really see that.
We've really never seen any of the movies he's been in. Mars Needs Moms, Balls of Fury.
But I guess he'll be okay. But I am assuming he'll be okay. I guess he's like the comic relief or something, so.
And we get to build on the whole universe of Harry Potter and all this cool stuff that we don't know about yet because it's never been explored before.
But it's going to be interesting because this is based on a textbook that J.K. Rowling wrote for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and we'll see where it goes from here.
And the funny thing is, it's not surprising that Fantastic Beasts is coming out now. It's not that Fantastic Beasts is coming out at all. It's that Fantastic Beasts is coming out now. Because J.K. Rowling devotes so much time to world building in Harry Potter that there is pretty much a backstory for almost every character and object that Harry's ever come in contact with in those books. Except for Cho Chang, because apparently screw Cho Chang.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm surprised that Warner Animation Group hasn't already signed on for a trilogy on this Phoenix that gave Harry and Voldemort their wand cores already.
Yeah, so but J.K. Rowling has a history of world building, so this is going to be so obviously we're going to be seeing an expansion of the world.
And the thing is, she said she wasn't never going to do Harry Potter again, but I think 2016 is really going to be the year that will be remembered, hopefully, as the year that Harry Potter came back to the mainstream after a long absence, because not only is this movie coming out, but the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opened up in Universal Hollywood. It had already existed in Florida and Japan.
Yeah, I think Japan.
And then they put out Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, the play that takes place years later, and then we've got this movie is going to probably just cement the fact that Harry Potter's back, along with the fact that Pottermore has been growing in popularity with things like the Patronus test and Nest, which has in turn caused more people to actually look back at the movies and actually figure out which house of the 2 wizarding schools that we know exist now, with different houses now, they are, and what their animal their Patronus is. So, I guess that's it?
Yeah, I got nothing to say.
Alright then, we will see you guys after the jump. Well guys, it's over, and that was really good.
Really, really good.
And, well, what else can be said? It's a Harry Potter movie, and it
didn't feel like a Harry Potter movie.
That's right. With if you count all the Harry Potter Easter eggs that are kind of thrown within, it could have easily been an original fantasy movie. And the interesting thing is that we don't have original fantasy movies anymore, so that's kind of interesting. But let's get into it. And I think it's appropriate this time around to start with the script, and I think it was really good. I mean,
it was a really good first screenplay.
And I gotta be honest, the one thing I was worried about was the fact that if J.K. Rowling could make the transition smoothly from author to screenwriter, because screenwriting and not writing books is two totally different things. If you writing a screenplay, you need to be visual. You need to write showing, not telling, not pages upon pages of exposition. And because she's kind of got a talent as a world builder, and I've been rereading Sorcerer's Stone recently, I know that she kind of builds backstories for long things, and the big thing I kind of was worried about was, is this going to be just is this going to be exposition? Is this going to be like when Stephen King rewrote The Shining? But I was really happy with the fact that I assumed David Yates and Steve Close, the guys who basically worked on the majority of the Harry Potter franchise, I think they coached her through a few little screenwriting details so that we could actually get into the filmmaking aspect of show don't tell.
I honestly think it was a really good work. It wasn't great. It could have been better. I think it could have been better in places, but ultimately it was a pretty good first attempt. And now I gotta read that thing because there was moments in this I was like, I gotta see how they described that, because that looks, visually that looks amazing. But like, I don't know how you would write that down and how to put that to word, describe that.
And all right, let's get into it. Eddie Redmayne is pretty awesome as Newt Scamander.
He's just so likable.
He's got this kind of British Sheldon Cooper-y thing going on as Newt Scamander, where he's kind of a little OCD caring about these animals because he's a magizoologist. He kind of knows these animals, and he is stubborn in his ways, but on the other hand, he knows that people find him annoying.
He knows he knows when people like him too. He likes, and he wants to get to know people. He's more comfortable around animals than people, but at the same time,
but at the same time, people come to like him because of his personality. And Dan Fogler's character, Jacob, he comes in and he may be the comic relief, but he steals it but he's kind of takes the reins when he runs these scenes. I don't know what it is about him. He's got charisma. It's kind of weird that he's been in so little popular works. I can't wait to see what happens with him in the sequels.
And then we got Colin Farrell, who was pretty damn good in this movie.
I gotta be honest, I find it weird that Colin Farrell, an Irish actor, finally got to be in Harry Potter, and he plays an American.
Yeah, and of course we got but one of probably the stand-up performances for me was from Ezra Miller.
Yeah, he gave kind of an interesting performance as kind of this broken character, and I think he did a really good job of it.
Yeah, and there was and his character has this huge thing going on that I can't spoil, but when it happens, it's like you just see this shift in him that immediately takes over.
And then Catherine Waterston, and she plays Newt Scamander's. She plays a former Auror who kind of.
We hesitate to call her a love interest because
okay, if you know a lot about the Harry Potter universe, you know how this whole subplot is going to end at the end of all 5 movies. But in this movie, the romance was basically non-existent. You get the feeling that these characters really, really liked each other, but it's not a romance thing.
There is so much to these characters, and I can't wait to see more from them. But there's so much set up, and it does kind of feel close-ended at times, like they're closing up like they were going to close the book right. It kind of feels like they could have closed the book right there, but they're making more. So,
and okay, let's talk about the hippogriff in the room. Johnny Depp, he's in this movie.
Johnny Depp has been a very controversial figure as of yet,
but we choose to
look at him judge his work as an actor and not as a shit human being.
Yeah, so we're gonna judge him as an artist and not as the alleged monster that he allegedly is. We don't have all the information right now, so we're just gonna play it as it is. And when he finally showed up on screen, he looked incredible.
It was so awesome looking. He was so awesome looking. He looked like Johnny Depp, but he looked like this incredible Harry Potter character.
It's kind of weird to say this about Johnny Depp because what can we say about Johnny Depp that hasn't been said about Johnny Depp as an actor that has not been said about Johnny Depp as an actor? But he kind of loses himself in this role because every Johnny Depp performance is different, and this one, he's like I don't know how to describe him.
He's in the movie very briefly, but in that brief moment,
he gives off this impression like, you're going to see more of me. I'm going to leave an impression on you. So I'm going to leave an impression on you to build off of this. Yes, and I guess that's really all there is to say about Johnny Depp. He kind of built something off of. He kind of created a perfect jumping off point for the rest of his role in this entire series.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? David Yates did an incredible job directing.
What else is new? It basically looked like Harry Potter. A lot of the stuff looked like Harry Potter stuff. It wasn't there wasn't a lot of new ground to be treaded. The production design. Well, the production design, we can talk about that.
Yes, it's incredible how detailed this is because David Yates basically created a good chunk of the Harry Potter universe because he'd been directing the franchise from Order of the Phoenix to Deathly Hallows Part 2.
So he helps to build the visual aesthetic of the universe.
All the stuff that hadn't been treaded in, that he wasn't basically borrowing from guys like Thomas Newell and Christopher Columbus and Alfonso Cuarón. And so David Yates basically
created the visual aesthetic of this, and it was very much present when we saw the New York in 1926. When we saw 1926 New York in this movie,
and I thought it was incredible to see the kind of biome that Newt Scamander keeps in his suitcase. Sorry, spoiler alert, but I don't think it's that big of a spoiler, and it's really amazing to see that kind of details.
It's incredible to see that kind of detail. It's like Zootopia. It's like built like Zootopia, where you get these different sections for different animals.
Except unlike Zootopia, there's not the possibility of a movie for every single one.
And there's not the possibility of a race war.
Yeah, and James Newton Howard, he scored this movie. He did a really good job of kind of recreating this kind of epic score that John Williams had made for the first 4 Harry Potter movies.
And something I caught was that they had I think every single main character had a theme song.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. I haven't actually seen the track listing for the soundtrack, but particularly one scene involving Newt, I kind of noticed a certain little melody, and I'm like, is that a theme song?
And then I heard a song in the background with Jacob that I heard again later on when we were seeing him again, after he went away for a second, and then he came back, and we heard this song again.
So it's quite possible that James Newton Howard not only created this epic flowing score, John Williams-esque score, but he also created theme scores for just about for the major characters, and I really liked it. It was really good music. I don't think that overall, all Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, it's a really good movie. It's a great installment in the Harry Potter franchise. J.K. Rowling is as usual right on top of it as a writer. It has a legitimately good twist at the end.
Like you don't see it, you almost don't see it coming because
you see little hints of it. If you are looking for something in particular, you see that there is a. You see that if you're looking for something in particular, you're gonna find little hints at this twist, and it's a legitimately good twist. We're not gonna spoil it, but it's a great twist, well, we're home now, so
that's all we gotta say now. I don't know when we're gonna see you guys again. Probably for Star Wars.
Either way, that or whenever we get around to seeing Moana. But we got a busy week next week.
Yeah. So, Otherwise, I think we're just gonna leave it at that.
Yep. So be sure to like, favorite, subscribe. What did you think of Fantastic Beasts and where to find them? Leave that in the comments below, but no spoilers. And just bye.
Bye.